Pyro Collector's Edition. Another banger box of consoles. Wow. These are all the complete in the box handhelds. I got 8 of them, which is pretty nice. Fire Emblem. A bunch of good GameCube titles, guys, like Luigi's Mansion, for Smash Bros. Melee. This is an insane console right here. If you guys read the title, you guys can see we have a $50,000 video game collection.
Make a lot of money. Yeah, I do all right for myself.
No joke as well, everything has been priced out. Every single game priced out. Method how I'm selling it is I'm doing $1 starts. So like I'm not getting full value. Like it's just impossible to get full value for everything. That's why in my head, you know, I'm down to sell everything for 75%. And that's already great profit margins for me. I paid 30%, Whatnot takes their 12% fees. I'm still left with 25%, 30% profit on like 50 grand in total, like 40 grand in total. That's a lot. That's a lot of money for me. $52,147. And I ended up paying $17,000. So I gave the guy a $17,000 check. I got all the video games. And now let's show you everything that we got. Right off the bat, we got a nice little box of handhelds. A bunch of different Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advances, Game Boy Advance SPs. All pretty clean as well. Like there is some scratches, of course. These are old consoles, so there will be some scratches. I'm stoked about this, guys. I've never spent $17,000, okay? I spent, you know, $8,000 recently on a truck, but like, whew. $17,000 is a lot of money just for some video games. Another banger box of consoles. Look at this Game Boy Advance Pokemon Edition. It's like a gold Game Boy. This thing is very clean. This might be the most expensive handheld I have. I'm not sure if this is more expensive, like a 3DS. PS Vita, PSPs, a bunch of different types of DSs. I think I have a couple of every single DS variant there is. But yeah, I had no idea they made colored Game Boys. I bought a bunch of different like original Game Boys, but I've only found the gray one. I think they're as cool as a blue and a green one. I wonder if there's different colors like red, orange, and stuff like that, because those are probably worth good money. Wow, look how clean this box is on this heart gold. Whew. And then we have a box full of like Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance, stuff like that. I think I have every single Pokemon Game Boy game there is though. Every single one of them. Bang, bang, bang. Every single one of them. And then I have a bunch of other nice titles as well. Not just Pokemon. Look at Zelda. But yeah, this is probably my favorite box. This thing is just full of so many games. It's probably the most high valued box just because of how many games are sitting in here. And like the values are like all across the board. I want to say I have probably almost every Zelda game there is for the Game Boy. Solar Striker, that looks good. Shrek. Shrek's probably a pretty fire game. Ape Escape. I know on some systems, Ape Escape is a pretty valuable game. Godzilla. The Game Boy Player disc is a very expensive disc, honestly. I think this thing is like 150 bucks. These are all the complete in the box handhelds. I've got 8 of them, which is pretty nice. Definitely this is the best one, I already said. I think this thing, like I said, is like $400. That's crazy. I had one of those, bro. Why didn't I keep mine? And then some of these older ones as well. Like these are always nice to find in the box. Some special edition DSs, like a little pink one, a black one. We got the crimson red, a light blue DSi. Complete in the box 2DS as well. These 3DS consoles like shot up in prices. It's crazy how much they're worth nowadays still. If you guys like buying video games for a really good deal, I sell everything I find, like what you see right here, for a $1 starting bid on Whatnot. Whatnot is a live auction platform where you go live, of course, and you sell some stuff. People sell stuff for their full value, but me, I like to start everything for $1, and you guys get to dictate the price. Click the link in the bio if you're interested in something like that. But let's keep on going right through the collection. I want to say there's literally like over 100 PlayStation 1 games. I do have to make sure which ones are and aren't sealed because they are in these plastic little like wraps, but a lot of them are sealed, he said, like PlayStation 1 games. You can't really tell from the outside because of this plastic wrap. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep showing you guys a bunch of different titles. Like, wow, look at that one. I know that's a really good game right there. And of course, we're gonna have some cheaper games like sports ones and stuff. Another banger. Tomb Raider, let's go. PlayStation 1 on PlayStation 1 on PlayStation 1. But for the most part, everything here is in like flawless condition. Some things, you know, are a little bit dirtier. They do have like some stickers, I'd say. But like 90% of everything is minty condition. I tried to make it to where like all of the boxes had like no room to move around. So like the DS games and the PS1s are perfect to put with each other. Woo! Spyro Collector's Edition. I will say the box is like slightly messed up, but I bet this isn't like a super common thing to find. And bam, look at all of that. A bunch of PS1 games and some Sega Dreamcast as well. Definitely mainly PlayStation 1 though. I will try and pull out a lot of the bangers. Let's see, what games do we got in here? We got Parasite Eve 2, NASCAR. I'm trying to pull out some banger games just so I don't keep showing you guys the bad titles. Resident Evil 2. I see Metal Gear Solid. Look at that, Tekken 3. Sports games, you know, they're never really fun to find. Whatever that game is, Tetris, sports. Woo, here's a little banger for the Dreamcast. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I want to say this is at least $150 to $200. I think I've showed you guys enough of the PlayStation games. Let's get right into another box. If I didn't say the count already, there's literally 1,747 games. There's over 100 consoles. I want to say there's 111 consoles, and I have like several hundred controllers. Boom, boom, boom. This box right here is absolutely loaded with PS2 games. There's PS2, PS2, PS2.
I think I've showed you guys enough of the PlayStation.
PS2. Again, not every game is gonna be super expensive, so I'm trying to just show like some nicer stuff. Look at that, the big box Devil May Cry set. I've never seen no big box PS2 set like this. That's nice. I wonder what something like that's worth. And again, these boxes are both 2 games tall, so like it's hard to like show you everything. I really want you guys just to get a general idea of what is here though. Look at that, 2 back-to-back bangers, Armored Core and Def Jam Vendetta, Baldur's Gate and Dark Alliance. I want to say they came out with a new one recently, right? I started to set out all the PlayStation 1 games, and look at all the sealed games that we have. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sealed games. And sealed PlayStation 1 games are worth good money. Even if it's not a crazy title, it adds some great value to it. Like, see, even this Madden 2000 is gonna be worth a couple dollars now just because it's sealed.
Sports games, you know, they're never really fun to find.
I think the best sealed game is this one right here. Look up this game, sealed. It's kind of all over the place. Like you'll see, somebody did sell it for like 120 bucks a few months ago. But the 3 listings on eBay right now are for like 500, 700, 800. I mean, I don't think I'll get close to that because, you know, there is a tear right there. But that might be the best sealed game that I have. I try to set all the decent games to the side. Like these 2 stacks right here are better than those 4 stacks in my opinion. As you can tell, I try to put all the decent bangers on this side. Just so when I'm selling it, I'll know what I'm selling, you know what I mean? Since I will be selling everything here for a $1 starting bid, it's a little scary. I don't get to dictate the price whatsoever, you know? I just at least want to know what I'm running as I'm starting it. As I go through the PS2 games, I'm starting to see a bunch of little bangers. Look at that, Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy. Wild Arms 4, that's also a nice title right there. Inuyasha. And I don't even know about these 2 values, but they just look like good games. So I like to set like games that look good to the side just so I can see what they're worth. One of the best games ever made, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, guys. Whew. If you guys know, you know. That game's really good. I like all the Dragon Ball games, to be honest with you, but this one in specific is the best. Now we're starting to get to the PS3 games. Honestly, there is a lot of cheap titles in PS3, but good ones nonetheless. Like, just because it's cheap does not mean it's bad, you know? Like, I would say, like, this is a good game in my opinion, but it's really not worth too much. Same thing with this. This is a good game right here, but I wouldn't say I'm getting too much money. I want to say this one's actually worth a good amount of money right here. Family Guy Back to the Multiverse is always a good title, like, across all platforms. And these two right here are definitely worth good money. I couldn't tell you the exact price, but just because they're nice special editions. Like, look at this Kingdom Hearts cover. Like, that looks real nice, right? I'm not sure what it's worth, but it's definitely worth at least like 25 bucks, I'm thinking, right? That's a nice little cover art. Same thing with this Final Fantasy XX2. Nice little cover. Digimon probably is a good title as well. But for the most part, I'm probably gonna put like an average of 10 to 15 bucks across the board on a lot of PS3 games, and even like sometimes like 8 bucks. Like, there we go, Armored Core V. I know that one's worth a good amount of money. I bet at least $50, you know what I mean? That looks really nice. All these like anime type games, like all these like girly type anime games, I swear are always worth a couple bucks as well. Is this an original PS2 case? I don't think I've ever seen one in like a green one. It looks like a good title, but this looks like they just put it in like an Xbox case, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I really do like how he put everything in a plastic wrap, or at least most games, because that does make it look like better condition and it will bring more value overall, I think. But again, on some of them he didn't put it on. Even on the lower end games, you know, it looks like it just makes it look like a nicer game if it has this plastic on it. It will be harder to show though, because obviously I'm gonna have to open them up to show the condition of everything. But for the most part, everything is complete in the box, super clean. Maybe the disc has some scratches is the only different variants, but look, that's very clean. Some dust, but literally 0 scratches on there. That will slow me down just a tad bit. Not a crazy amount of PSP games, to be honest with you guys. I'd say maybe like 30 or so. But some good titles for it, definitely. And then some sports ones. But, you know, I'd say overall, I'd have a couple good PSP games. Most notably, I think, is this Persona. I want to say this thing is like 150 bucks. Metal Gear, that looks like a good game. And that one looks like a good game. Some decent titles, definitely overall. The sports ones, I usually honestly give away sports games, unless it's like a good like NCAA 2013 or 14, I want to say. Maybe like bundle up like freaking 50 of them and sell them, because these are not fun to sell. Then bang, something like this, I'll sell individually all day. There's so many games in this lot. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you every single video game. It's definitely gonna be super hard. It's gonna be a bunch of cheaper games. I think there's like at least like 700 $10 games or cheaper. But as long as a $10 game's a good title, right? Like spelling challenges, I might only get a couple dollars for, because that doesn't look like a good game. But like Yoshi's Island DS, it's not super expensive, but it's a good title, so it's very easy to get its money for. Super Mario 64 is definitely an easy one to get money for. That is one of the best Mario games in the whole franchise. Changed my mind. Kirby as well. Kirby always is worth a couple bucks. And Mega Man, even if it is a Japanese game, this is definitely worth some money as well. Mega Man, Kirby, Mario, stuff like that. Those are always good. This entire box, or for the most part, is full of just SNES and N64 games. You can see it's a pretty big box as well. I won't get around to showing every single one of them, because you know sometimes they're a little bit more boring. You know, like this, like the wrestling ones, the sports ones, and stuff like that. Mega Man's always cool though. Mega Man's a nice one. Pokemon games, always good. Sports, sports. Mario, everybody loves a good Mario game. Mario is always a nice little title. I like the N64 games though, to be honest with you. My favorite game came from the N64, Super Mario 64. I remember this box right here is full of a lot of nice stuff. Is the poster inside of here? I wanna make sure. No poster, but there's a lot of stuff in there. Then we have the console to match it. That's a very nice bundle, like going together. Yep, I knew it. This box is full of SNES, N64, couple in the box handhelds. Wait, Draken? I honestly haven't played too many of these old games. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So I won't actually know exactly what I'm looking at. Doom, all these Donkey Kong games. Judge Dredd, that looks like a good game. Mega Man X, let's go. Somebody was requesting this game. I do have it, it looks like. 3 Zelda GameCube games. GameCube is worth so much money, guys. I'm not sure what happened to this console, but it is worth a fortune. I think these 3 games I'm holding right here is like 400 bucks or $300 together. Same with the Wii U console. I think how it works, since the GameCube and the Wii U are literally like the least sold Nintendo console ever, they're gonna have some rare stuff, of course, meaning their games are gonna be worth a good amount of money. I've seen a couple of these Wii U games shoot up in value. I think there's one Zelda game, Twilight Princess, I wanna say. It's worth like $100. This is an insane console right here. I've never seen one of these in person before. Woo! Very clean, with the controller as well. I wanna say this thing is literally worth like $300, 250 bucks. That's insane for a console. It looks like we finally got to GameCube, y'all. Look at that. I think there's like 70 plus GameCube games, and there's some nice ones as well. Shadow the Hedgehog. This game was so fun as well. I don't think it's really a long game, but it's definitely one of my favorite on the GameCube. Bang, bang, bang. All right, more GameCube. Wario World is definitely a good title right there. Soul Calibur, Capcom versus SNK. That's always good, like any console, that's always a good title. Bloody Roar, that looks like a good title right there. I'm sorry if these games are all super shiny from the light, you know? It has like a plastic wrap over everything, so it just looks super shiny. It might look bad on the camera. I'm sorry about that. Chibi Robot. I want to say that's literally like the top 10 GameCube games for some reason. It's up there at least. It's definitely high in value. It's just some little robot guy. Plug it in his little plug. What up, Pirate?
Nothing, just watching you.
Woo! Hit and Run's always a good title on every
That's
platform.
like you picking, huh? Hit and Run?
Really, Dan? Why you gotta call me out like that? Sonic Heroes, Resident Evil 4. Surprisingly enough, this one isn't super expensive. I thought this would be at least like a $60 game. But look it's freaking sealed. I have a sealed copy of this. I don't know what I want to do with it, honestly. I might grade it because of its condition, and there's some crazy sales in graded copies of these. Fire Emblem. This is also literally like top 5 or top 10 GameCube games. I want to say it's like 250 bucks, 200 bucks, give or take. A bunch of good GameCube titles, guys. Like, look at Captain Falcon. That's my boy right there. Mario Sunshine. Kirby Air Ride. That's a good one. Honestly, that might be better than the Mario Kart game, to be honest. Luigi's Mansion. Super Smash Bros. Melee. I don't know why so many people still play Melee. Like, that has such a big following. And Metroid Prime. There we go. It's all the GameCube games. Literally like 68 games, I want to say. And there's some nice titles in there. Like I said, there's... Time to go through the Wii games. Honestly, one of my favorite consoles overall. I definitely feel like a lot of you guys feel the same, because it was one of the most sold consoles ever for Nintendo. Oh, that's sealed. Wow, I almost didn't notice that at first. That's a sealed game. Make sure I set those aside. But yeah, I feel like the Wii just had so many good titles, and it was just such a good console for its time, like the way the remotes worked and stuff. Definitely my favorite. Monopoly Streets, really good game. Really fun Monopoly right here. They do have a lot of cheap games, like all these Rabid games. They're not really worth anything. Red Steel looks like a good title. Mario Party 8, the best Mario Party, hands down. I think people will say Mario Party 6 is the best, but no, Mario Party 8 is the best in my opinion. Mario Kart, always worth great money. And yeah, definitely my favorite console. Let me know in the comments though, what is your guys' favorite console you guys ever played, and your favorite game on the console. Resident Evil is always a good title on every console as well. Always worth a couple bucks. SpongeBob, Rock Band. Actually, Rock Band 3 might be decent as well. Resident Evil again, let's go. Star Wars. And there we go, all of our Wii games are spread across the shelf. Some decent titles, like Castlevania Judgment looks like a really nice game. And that's it, guys. We were pretty much done with this collection. I sold roughly $36,000, give or take. I have a couple more games left over, but they're cheap for the most part. I might sell $2,000 more, maybe $1,000. So yeah, I'm just gonna say we got $36,000 to $38,000 in sales. Whatnot takes their 12%. We already know about that. I made good money. I'm happy. You know, I put like 70, 80 hours of work at most, within everything. Good profit margins, good hourly rate. I'm happy with it. But with that being said, that's the end of the video. If you watch this far, it means you watched the whole entire video. Thank you so much for making this far. Let's put a little heart in the comments. I like seeing who made it this far. And peace out, everybody.